Hey everybody, how's it going? I have yet to talk about Big City Greens on this channel yet. Now, I've honestly tried. I've actually filmed a single video where I talked about Season 1 like 4 times, and each time I didn't like it. That video is still in the works, and hopefully it will be released someday, we'll see. But we have Season 3B of Big City Greens coming out very soon, just within a couple days, and it's pretty interesting how the status quo has now changed a little bit, because Big City Greens, the premise is, for those that have not seen the show, it's this country family who moves into the big city and they gotta get used to the big city despite being country folk. And that's been the premise of the show for 2.5 seasons. And now they're moving back to the country, which is a little strange because the show is called Big City Greens, yet there's gonna be no more big city. So it's literally just greens now. Big City Greens with no big city. It's like the Yankee with no brim meme, but instead of without the brim, it's the no big city. That's the joke. That's the funny. Regardless, I'm actually pretty excited to see what they're going to do with this. I do think that this is going to be a temporary thing. I don't think it's going to be a 1-episode thing. I'll get into that a little bit later. It's not going to be like a Chipocalypse situation where it's just one thing. I'm pretty sure for the rest of Season 3B, it will take place in the country. I say that with somewhat confidence because I'm not sure how much they can do considering a lot of their characters are now gone. Like, we have 6 characters here. Because, of course, we have Cricket, Tilly, Bill, Nancy, and Remy. And then what's weird is there's actually 2 versions of this new theme song. So for Season 3B, they have this new theme song where it's now like somebody's playing a fiddle instead of the whistling or whatever. I find it very funny how the original theme song feels like, I don't really know how to explain it. It's not really rock, but it feels like, yeah, I'm getting city vibes, and now it's like very much more country vibes with they're playing like a fiddle or a violin or whatever it is. I'm assuming it's a fiddle. And the entire theme song just has this different feeling to it. It's got, like, pretty much got one-to-one events, like what happened, how like they're driving the tractor, they're rolling around in the mud, they're jumping over a fence. Like, that all happens in the original theme song too. Like, Cricket jumps off something and they're doing like a stack near the end. It's just a little bit weird. But what's interesting is that in the trailer, it shows Grandma being really, really sad that the Green family is leaving back to the country. Most likely moving, buying the house now that they have a stable job thanks to the Gloria Cafe and actually profiting off their farm. But what's interesting is Grandma seems very sad that they're leaving. So it seems like she's going to stay behind. But there's 2 versions of the theme song. There's one with Grandma, and then there's one without at the very end. It's a little weird, right? Like, I imagine maybe for like the first few episodes when they move back, Grandma won't be there. And then it's like, oh, Grandma got lonely, so she came and joined us on the farm. But then that makes me wonder, who's paying for the house back in Big City if no one's living in it? I guess Gloria? Is Gloria just like taking over the house? I'm guessing maybe she's like the last person who can watch the house. I don't know. I do think that this is temporary though, because the show is literally called Big City Greens. So I don't know why, if there's no big city, why would they call it Big City Greens? I don't know. I'm assuming that this is going to take place for the rest of the season. Or maybe like near the season finale, they're going to have to move back because Bill can't compete with these big farm industries or whatever. That's the whole reason they left in the first place. Bill couldn't afford the farm, so the bank took it, and they had to move to Big City. Another thing that I'm thinking of is since they're technically out of Big City now, maybe we'll see the return of Chip. And we all know Chip, the villain of Big City Greens. You know, he's kind of a gag villain, but can also be taken seriously if he wants to be, considering Chipocalypse. But I think what's really interesting is that Chip was banned from Big City, right? But now they're in this place called, like, what, Smallton? I think that's what it said in Dirt Jar or whatever, the most previous episode, which is a really good episode, by the way. I really like that episode. And I'm wondering, maybe now that, like, Chip has left Big City, maybe he is trying to expand Wholesome Foods, the farm of Wholesome Foods. I don't know. I know it's more of a grocer, but maybe he got into farming and now he's gonna have to compete with the Greens again. I don't know. We'll have to see. But what makes me also think that this won't last too long is apparently the changes that have happened. In the trailer for the next episode, The Move, a lot of the animals seem to be like pretty chaotic. I'm wondering, I have like 2 possible theories, right? One, they got too used to city life. I actually have a small bit of evidence to back that up. Probably nothing. Probably just looking way too much into it. And two, something's wrong with the animals. Maybe they're running out of space to live, so they're getting aggressive. I don't know. Or maybe it's just because, haha, funny animals attack, funny moments. I don't know. There's something definitely off about the country they're not used to, but I don't know. I feel like they're so used to the country, so I feel like that's not the case. My other bit of evidence for this was because when you take a look at both of the opening titles, when you look at how the Greens come into Big City, you look at their truck and it's just full of like trash. Like they got all this stuff roped in there, but just barely. And then you look at the Clutch when they're moving out of Big City, everything's in nice, neat boxes, right? And maybe, again, that's just me looking way too much into it. They still have stuff like roped down in the Clutch or whatever, but it just looks a lot neater. It looks a lot more organized, kind of like what city people would do. I don't know. They're definitely still country people at heart. Like, you could definitely see how happy they are to be here. I do think something that is out of place, though, is Remy. And I say that mainly because why is he here? If this is their new permanent location, why is Remy here? Remy doesn't live with the Greens. He lives with his own family. So, again, like I was saying, I know this is going to just be a temporary thing. They're going to have to go back to Big City eventually. I'm just wondering when that's going to happen. And, like, how long is Remy even going to be here? Are his parents letting him stay here for a long time? Is it just, like, he's coming to visit? Because it looks like he's moving with them. Like, in the actual intro, he's, like, in the car with them, so... Maybe it's because his family like is going somewhere, doing some job, and they needed to have Remy be watched. But then it's like, where's Vasquez? There's no sign of Vasquez in the trailers at all. So I really don't know what the deal with Remy coming along with them is. Like, I love to see more Remy. Remy's a really fun character to see. I even think this will be really good for him as a character because he's very, I don't know, sheltered. And I think getting him out in the country will actually let him grow as a character, which would be pretty fun. And it's also nice to see Nancy in the actual opening as well, because it's just been like, for 2.5 seasons, it's just been the 4 characters, right? You know, Cricket, Tilly, Bill, and Grandma. But now we actually got Nancy and Remy in the opening, and like, it'd be cool to see Gloria here too, but you know, she's staying in Big City because she probably doesn't care about the country or whatever. I don't know, I just feel like this is going to be a really interesting time for Big City Greens as a show. Because again, I've been wanting to talk about the show for a long time. I really, really do enjoy it. I think what's funny about it is that there is sort of a running storyline, despite it not being serialized. Like, it's not like a serialized show that has like a plot, like Amphibia or The Owl House, but it definitely has some elements. I think this is kind of neat how it's like you get to see this family go through different, I don't want to say arcs, because that's definitely not what it is, but go through different challenges and overcome it, like the whole Chip thing, how they start off with Chip like being business partners, and then it goes south, and then, you know, Chip just evolves into this Green family hating, revenge-fueled monster or whatever. Like, he literally tries to kill Cricket. Like, what the heck is up with that? I don't know. I think Chipocalypse is a really good episode. I want to talk about that someday. I just think the direction that this is going in is very unique for the show, because it'll definitely give, like, the writing team a lot of fresh ideas to work with, considering they're in a different environment. Like, obviously, there's so much to do in Big City. It's a city, obviously. But considering this is, like, a country family, they're no longer out of their element. I guess they're back in their element, at least sort of, because the trailer and the theme song seem very different, because the theme song makes everything look all honky-dory or whatever. And then you look at the trailer, and things don't look so good, because, like, the animals are, like, attacking. Maybe it's just for that single episode, like, for the move, and then, like, any episode after that, they'll have things settled. I don't know. I think it's really nice to see all the characters in their element. Like, Bill looks so happy to be here, and it's good for him, because, like, dude's been stressed constantly, so having his children are gonna have more free reign to explore and, you know, cause chaos without upsetting neighbors all the time. I don't know. I think it's gonna be really good for the family. And I'm just really wondering, what's the sort of ending of this gonna be? Because this can't be the rest of the show, right? They won't just move here permanently? I wouldn't think so. I don't know. It makes me really wonder what the future of the show is going to be. Obviously, I'm looking too much in this. This is just supposed to be like a silly, fun cartoon, not really anything super serious. But I'm just wondering, like, when are they going to go back? I know they haven't even got there yet. The episode, The Move, hasn't even come out. I think it comes out in a couple days as of this video is coming out. I just really think it's interesting, considering it's such a big move, no pun intended, for the show to make. The entire name of the show is called Big City Greens, and their original premise is just gone now. It's just a nice change of pace, and I'm really excited to see it. I don't know. I think that'll be it for me, though. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to talk about this because I think it's a really interesting direction they're going with the show. And I wanted to hear all your thoughts about this. I know there's not a ton of Big City Greens fans out there, at least of an older audience. I know this audience is definitely directed toward younger children, as opposed to like Amphibia or the Owl House, which I normally talk about. So, I don't know. If you're a fan of the show, definitely let me know where you're at. I want to hear what you got to say about this. I'm very interested in, you know, talking more about this show because I think it's really funny, and I think it actually has some really heartwarming episodes. So, yeah, definitely let me know what your thoughts are on the move and this new sort of premise. I'm excited to see what Season 3B has in store. Anyway, that'll be it for me, and I'll see you all later, buddy. Have a great day. Bye-bye.